Hello everyone, it's Kay here, and I'm here today with a lovely project. Well, I hope you think it's lovely, I certainly do. This is my design team project for January 2020, and what I've done is used the sewing theme from Artymaze. It is just such a beautiful kit, and I wanted to make it something a little bit special, a keepsake item. Not that journals aren't, but I wanted to make it extra special, if you like. And what I've done is firstly altered this wooden box, and the box measures 9 3/4 by 8 inches, and it is almost 4 inches in height. So if I just show you, this is the front page, and it is one of the main sheets from the kit. I apologise for the glare. There's not a whole lot I can do about it, or the fact that I haven't got the whole box on the camera. I just can't pan out any further. I have tried, but I'm really as far as I can be, because the box is actually quite tall as well. But that is the top of the box. You'll see it's been Mod Podged to help preserve it and stop there being any major flaws. There is then a little bobble trim going all the way around the edge, and I've used more pieces from the kit, more papers, just to take around the whole of the box. As you can see, it's all been Mod Podged with the satin effect. It's not a matte effect, but it just makes it look as though it's been lightly varnished. The back is bottom is totally plain. I may well put some foam on it or something, just so that it doesn't damage any furniture. The fittings on it, I believe, are brass, and it's just the hinges. This is one of the boxes from the works. I've bought them over the years and keep them for what I consider to be special projects. So without further ado, I will open it up for you, and here we go into another area where I really can't show you everything frightfully well. So if we start with the top aspect of the box, you'll see again it's all been lined. I've made a faux pocket over here because my thinking here is it's a lady's box, and she might want to keep some mail from the family or her best friends, and she might want to keep them safe and on hand. And these are the envelopes. There's actually nothing in them at this point, but clearly the recipient or whoever decided they couldn't live without it could put something that suited them into those envelopes. I just think it's a beautiful kit. I have inked around the edges with black distress ink, and just that they are quite sizable, as you can see, plain inside. I've not lined them or anything, and those three sit together quite nicely. I've made the belly band with the ribbon on it just to keep those three little letters together, because of course in the day that's how letters were stored and kept safe, and that just fits back in there without interrupting this other aspect of the box, which are the two fashion ladies of the day off out for lunch by the looks of it. I'm not quite sure, but it certainly does look that way. I'll take out the inside bits of the box and bring that in a moment. Again, you'll see the bottom of the box is all lined, and then what I've done is put a lace insert around the sides all the way around, and just anchored that down with a little bit of hot glue just to keep it all very tidy, because clearly with use things will move, and best will in the world you're going to get a little bit of fraying on that looped edge of the lace. But all in all, that is the third of the main pages of the sewing themed kit, and you can see the detail is absolutely wonderful. I've had such fun putting this project together, I can't tell you. So we'll move the box out of the way for the moment, and I'll bring in the little extras that were in the box, and they amount to a couple of little spools that I've put some more pom-pom fringe on. It's only I don't think that the one around the box is cotton. This is more like a foamy kind of pom-pom on a slightly stretchy string, but it's effective. It does what I wanted it to do, and it fills up a little gap in the box, and then I've just anchored them down by tucking them down inside one another. I then, because there was a needle pocket in the kit, there are 3 altogether. I'll just bring in one to show you. This is another one, and you literally just cut them out and fold them, and it's a needle envelope. Well, I didn't want to chance putting ordinary needles into the packet, so what I actually did was made a tiny little insert for the packet, and what we've got here are just 3 little hat pin affairs or decorative pins, and obviously they can be decorated. Beads can be added to them. They just slot inside the little pre-made hole there and then sit back into the pocket. I have glued it. I didn't want to leave it to chance and have it open, because I did want it all to be safe, and I didn't want anybody having a mishap when they looked through things. And then instead of having these 2 sides closing over the top, I've just trimmed them back so you can just see the decorative heads within the packet, which is rather nice, I thought. Here is a darker line which you are supposed to split and then put the top lip into, but again, for my purposes that didn't work, so I only glued on the outside of the packet, and that just allows that little tab to sit inside and stay closed, but it really is lovely. I then made a couple of these secret message paper clips. I adore these. I've not actually put them into the journal because I just thought, well, they could be floating around, and you just pull out like that and you've got somewhere to do a little bit of writing. I've used some pearlised card there, very lightweight, but it fits in nicely and all sits into the little pocket like so, and on the front and back of the container is just another piece of the ephemera from the kit. I've used a tiny bit of trim here, just tied it around the paper clip because clearly you would anchor it from that side, and there are 2 of those with different papers on them, but you know, you can see where I'm going. I've tried to make something that is a complete set from the one kit. I then made this journal, and although it's not traditional insofar as journals usually go, It does have 2 signatures. I've not Mod Podged the front of the book, but there is some mirror card there which just kicks out a little bit of opulence, and I think frames the picture of the young lady, who is absolutely beautiful, on the cover of the book. I've used, this is a cotton pom-pom trim, which is very different from the trim on the reels, as you can see, but for the book I wanted it to be something durable. This is the back of the journal, and again I just like the mirror board to add a little bit of distinction to the project. And then you open it up, there are 2 signatures and a lot of space for writing. I'll just flick through it very, very quickly. Another little envelope here, and in here is a little corsetry advert with some papers inside that you could just do some little jottings on, just held in with some paper clips. No, I don't mean paper clips, I mean staples. And your envelopes are all scored in the kit. All you have to do is cut them out, fold on the scored lines, and that's your envelopes made. And again, the detail on them with the inches, the advertising, the colours, it is all just so wonderful. I've used some of my die cuts, just again the ones that are in keeping with the sewing theme. Some of the pages are quite plain, as you can see, so you can add whatever you like to it. A lovely dress form there with the 2 ladies on again from the main page. But Andrea always goes into such detail, and her kits allow you to have free rein and do what pleases you in them. This is just a CD envelope. I put the image inside, the pom-pom trim again, and I've made a little finger tuck here so you can actually store bits and pieces in there if you've a mind to. And that's the other side of the little flip. I wanted to make it ultimately usable. Then there are these lovely little bits of ephemera here which you can jot on if you like, and a little bit of stamping. That's tea stain, I think, the distress ink, and that just fits in there like so. Over again, more pockets, decoration. There are lots of tags in this kit, all very beautifully done. Lots of pockets, as you can see. I've just layered up some of my die cuts here and then added a little bit of trim here and there. It's not overly fussy. I don't do overly fussy. I do like people still to be able to add their own slant, if you like, on the journal once they have it. But this just lent itself to so much decoration. There is so much to cut out. I can't recommend the digital kit highly enough. This was just printed on standard, on a good quality A4 paper, which I can't remember, it might be Canon, I don't recall, but it is a good quality. Another pocket here, so it just all adds to the overall feel of niceness on it throughout. That's the first signature. There is a gap here, and then this is the second signature with more areas for journaling if that's what you'd like to do. More stamping, a couple more of these lovely tags and pockets. Another little tag here. This was a larger tag and I just cut the edge off it because I didn't want to waste the image and I wanted a little tuck spot on that page, and I've just tried to marry up the colours, as you can see. Another of the dress forms here. Again, you can journal on them if you'd like to. Some little bits and pieces of stitching equipment. Another full page. Another of the CD envelopes, and again you've got the opportunity, because it's a pocket, to add whatever you like into that area, and it will all stay quite nicely with the pom-pom trim around it. Another page there. I think I've got two. No, that's only one page, but it feels quite sturdy. Another blank page, but the images are just gorgeous. You really don't need, with Andrea's kits, you really don't need to add a whole lot to them. I mean, for instance, you could add one of these little secret messages on a page with the stamping, and it just looks so tasteful. It's so lovely. And as I say, I can't glue strands. I can't recommend this kit highly enough. It really is absolutely beautiful, from the colour saturation to the images that are inside. So I hope you've enjoyed this walkthrough of what I consider to be a very, very special project, with everything matching and everything nicely put together to show off the wonderful papers that Andrea designs and sells in her Etsy shop. So thank you so much for sharing this time with me. I'm sorry it's a bit of a long video, but there's not a lot I can do about that. Don't know if putting on a light here will help with things, really. I don't think so. It's time of day, which makes it awkward as well. But as I say, I hope you've enjoyed the walkthrough. I have put some pictures up on Instagram if anyone is interested. You can see them slightly better there, but clearly you don't get the whole effect of the whole project. So thank you very much. Take care, everyone. Happy crafting, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye for now.